This is Lady B, and this week I'm trying a recipe from the Calendar Book of Natural Beauty for a chamomile hair rinse. Now this is for the month of April, and it's because chamomile flowers, according to the book, bloom in April. And that may be true, but chamomile does not bloom here. So I had read the recipe and thought, I want to try that, but how am I going to get fresh chamomile flowers? Finally, I decided I'm not. So instead, I ran out to a health food store and I found me some bulk chamomile flowers, whole organic. This is the whole flower, and I'm going to give it a try with the dried and see if it works. Now, all you're doing is making a rinse. It's really a tisane, which is an infusion in water. So it's really quite simple to do. It does take a little time. The first thing I need to do is to put my 2 cups of water I'm going to use to make my infusion in a pot or pan on the stove. I'm going to use this electric skillet because that will let me do that down here. Because if you'll remember, this is my kitchenette. I have no stove or sink, but I do have a fire extinguisher. We shouldn't need that right now though. But I put my 2 cups of water in my skillet. And now it says, and I love this instruction, it doesn't give an amount. It says throw a handful of fresh flowers in. Now, I happen to know when you're using dried, the standard is to use 1/3 as much dried as fresh. I have no idea what that translates to, so I'm just going to throw a small handful in and see what happens. So, there we go. Small handful of chamomile. Now that went in cold water, and now I need to turn on the heat and bring it up to just under a simmer. Okay, so it has come to a simmer. It looks like it's more than a simmer because of the style of pan it is, but it really is only a simmer. And I have to say, the smell coming off of this is just amazing. It smells so good. Now, on most stovetops, 350 or medium is what gives you your rolling boil, and this is to be kept under that rolling boil or at this simmer stage. So I have turned it down to 300 or Fahrenheit or your medium low so that it will keep it at that simmer as opposed to the rolling boil stage. And now I need to set a timer for 4 minutes, and I will see you again then. So it has now been 4 minutes, and I have turned this off, and my infusion, if you can see it, has turned this beautiful golden yellow color. And the next step now is to put a lid on it and just let it steep for several hours. Now, this is to be used on freshly washed and rinsed hair. So, since I have to wait several hours for this to be ready to use, I'm going to take that time and I'm going to go give myself a facial and take a lovely hot shower and wash and rinse my hair so that it will be ready when this is. See you then. It has now been 3 hours. I cleaned my face and had my facial. Nice relaxing half hour while I let it soak in. Then took a lovely hot shower and I washed and rinsed my hair with my standard rinse. So now it is time to use the chamomile rinse. And after that 3 hours, it is ready. And it has turned this beautiful golden color. Now, I may have made a mistake. Usually when I do this sort of thing for my hair, I'll add an additional 50% because I have so much hair that the standard recipe is not always enough. And I didn't do that this time. So cross our fingers I have enough here. We'll find out. Either way, it's time to use it. So I have here a basin that I can use to rinse my hair in. And to use the rinse, it's very simple. I'm just going to take my damp hair over the basin, and I am just going to pour my chamomile rinse over my hair, catching it in the basin, and then continuing to pour until I thoroughly saturate my entire head of hair with it. So let's see how that works. And there we have it, thoroughly saturated. It would have definitely been easier if I had remembered the extra 50%, but I was able to make it work. Now, normally with rinses I have done in the past, at this point, I would be waiting a few minutes and then rinsing it out. But with the chamomile rinse, you leave it in your hair. You let it dry in your hair. Now, you can either just blot it dry and let it dry naturally inside, and what they recommend is going outside and letting it dry in the sun, which it's too cold to do right now. We've been having a cold snap, so I will be doing it inside. So I'll let this dry overnight just naturally, and I will see you tomorrow and we'll see what I think. It is the next day and my hair has completely dried. I have actually been to the community center to exercise and come back, and it is time to see the results of the chamomile rinse on my hair. So I haven't actually combed or brushed it yet, and I had a viewer ask me just what my technique was for brushing my hair. So I figured this was a good opportunity to show, and will also help show the results. So I do put my hair up at night like this. So in the morning, for my morning routine, I'll pull my hair down and I'll flip my hair over and run a pick through it. And this is just to get out any knots or tangles that may have happened. Usually by putting my hair up, I don't really have any, and all I'm doing is straightening it up and making sure it's in the right place. But having just washed my hair, I do have a few things to tease out. So starting from the bottom, I always try to first work it near my scalp and away from my head so that I can hold my hair as I am untangling it so I don't pull or tug on my scalp in any way. Just help protect my scalp, keep those follicles nice and healthy. There we go. Now, once I have worked out any knots or tangles or anything like that, I will keep my hair upside down like this. And let me split this so I can actually see you. And I will split my hair in half, one to one side and one to the other. And then I take my brush, and I have one of these combination boar bristle and detangling brushes. And this is very important if you have thick hair, because it will let you be able to get through the hair and brush it without having to take it in little sections and brush individual sections. But the detangling brush, I don't have to do that. But I do find it's easier and faster if I split it in half, and then I will keep my head down and I will brush 50 strokes on this side and 50 strokes on this side. There I go. And just flip it back. And that's it. It takes between 3 and 5 minutes to do. And I just do that every morning to brush out my hair. So that brings us to my review for the rinse. Now, my hair still smells a little bit of the chamomile. When I first put it in and it was wet, my hair smelled like chamomile, and it smelled amazing. I just loved the scent. It has faded now. I think it has left my hair a little soft, softer than it would have with just my vinegar rinse. And I do love how my hair looks. Now, this chamomile rinse is recommended. It's intended for someone with, in 1 second, let's repart that. There we go. There. Bring that where you can see now. There we go. My hair is so soft. This has made my hair a lot softer than it was with just the vinegar rinse. It feels really nice. And it also detangled a lot easier, so it helped with that too. Now, the chamomile rinse is actually intended for blonde hair. Now, I'm a brunette, technically. It's a dark auburn. But I have been going white since my 16th birthday, when I got my first white hair. Isn't that a great birthday present? And so I have a lot of lighter hair, and it does frequently look dull and lifeless. And I have to say, I love what this rinse has done for it. I can't stop touching it. That's a good sign. That means it's really nice, and it's made my hair really soft, and it just feels really good. And I love the way this looks. So, what do I think of it? I think that I am going to use this again. In fact, I love what this has done for my hair so much that I will probably add this as a second rinse when I wash my hair after my vinegar rinse. So, there it is. So, if you have lighter hair, whether it's you've gone gray like me or you're a natural blonde, and it's looking a little dull, give it a try. See if you can add some nice glow to your luscious locks. Now, I love you all, whether new or old. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Until then, whether trying this hair rinse or some other natural hair care, just remember, don't be afraid to suit yourself and make whatever it is you do exclusively you. Let me check the recipe really quick. For 3 to 4 minutes, I remember that correctly. I'm going to move the camera so you can get a better look. But this says